Russian President Vladimir Putin stated on June 7th that Russia has recruited 160,000 new personnel in 2024, consistent with reports of 30,000 new recruits per month. Russian forces have been balancing their casualty rates with newly generated forces, leading to a pulsing of offensive operations along the front. This involves alternating between intensified assaults and lower operational tempos to replenish losses. ISW notes that the availability of new combat personnel significantly influences these operational decisions. Russian reserves, totaling around 60,000 personnel, are largely used for restaffing and reinforcing units. Ukrainian forces conducted a drone strike against a Russian military airfield in the North Ossetia-Alania Republic on the night of June 7th to 8th. The strike targeted the Mozdok Airbase, causing a significant plume of smoke. Ukrainian sources indicate that the strike aimed to disrupt Russian air operations in the region. Russian media claimed the destruction of Ukrainian drones near oil infrastructure in Nogai Raion, Republic of Dagestan. But ISW has not confirmed these reports. This drone strike represents a strategic effort by Ukraine to target critical Russian military infrastructure and weaken their air capabilities. Russian strikes have caused extensive damage to Ukraine's energy grid. Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal stated on June 7th that only 27% of large Ukrainian thermal power plants are operational. Recent strikes have knocked out 9.2 gigawatts of generation capacity, which is half of what Ukraine used during winter 2023-24. The Financial Times reported that Russia has captured over half of Ukraine's generation capacity, reducing production to below 20 gigawatts. Ukraine is working to restore energy generation before winter 2024-25. Shmyhal emphasized the urgent need for repairs and increased energy imports from the EU. U.S. President Joe Biden met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Paris on June 7th. They discussed the battlefield situation, Ukraine's defensive capabilities, the U.S.-Ukraine bilateral security agreement, and the upcoming Ukraine peace conference in Switzerland. Biden apologized for delays in U.S. security assistance and reaffirmed U.S. support for Ukraine against Russian aggression. Zelensky stressed the need for more security assistance to defend Kharkiv Oblast and strike military targets in Russia. This meeting highlighted the importance of continued U.S. support for Ukraine's defense efforts and strategic planning. Longtime Russian central bank head Elvira Nabiullina balances pressures from President Vladimir Putin's economic advisors and Western sanctions. Despite calls for her removal, she remains in her position due to her efforts to stabilize the Russian economy amid the war. Nabiullina's ability to candidly address the economic impact of the war is significant. Putin has focused on portraying Russia's economic issues positively, possibly appreciating Nabiullina's honesty given her track record for stability. Her role underscores the internal economic challenges faced by Russia and the balancing act required in wartime. Ukraine's main military intelligence directorate and Russian opposition outlets reported an assassination attempt on June 7th against Hennady Matsehora, the former Russian occupation mayor of Kupiansk, Kharkiv Oblast. Matsehora, who defected to Russian forces in February 2022, is in critical condition at a Moscow hospital. The Ukrainian Kharkiv Oblast prosecutor's office charged Matsehora with treason for aiding Russian forces. This incident underscores ongoing tensions and targeted operations against collaborators in occupied regions, reflecting the high stakes of loyalty and betrayal in the conflict. The Russian military command is reportedly transferring forces to the Ukrainian-Russian border near Kharkiv Oblast. It is unclear if these forces will be committed to combat or used to reinforce existing units. Elements from the Akhmat Spetsnaz and unspecified airborne divisions have been deployed. Ukrainian sources suggest that approximately 50,000 to 70,000 personnel are involved in these redeployments. These movements aim to bolster Russian offensive operations in northern Kharkiv Oblast and possibly other sectors. This strategic redeployment highlights ongoing efforts to strengthen Russian positions in critical areas of the conflict.